event, which is Maya Barnett, who can take things from here. Over to you, Maya.
Thanks, Clint. Thanks for having me, and hello to everyone listening. My name is Maya Barnett, and I am the GIS Coordinator at Pacific Hydro. As mentioned, I'm here to talk to you about a solution that has been developed by Geomatic Technologies using the Visual Fusion software. Today's webinar, I will briefly introduce you to Pacific Hydro and detail some of the limitations that we had with our existing GIS and document management system. I will discuss the key objectives of our solution design, keeping in mind the constraints that we faced, and show you the outcome of this design. The key advantages will be discussed, as well as where we plan to go in the future. I will end by showing you a pre-recorded demonstration of our system and answer any questions you may have. Firstly, however, I would like to introduce you to Pacific Hydro. We are an Australian company established in 1992 and are now privately owned by Industry Funds Management. We are a renewable energy company with interests in hydro, wind, solar and geothermal, and have projects located in Australia, Chile, Brazil and the Philippines. We are a growing company with approximately 300 employees and are continually looking at expanding our portfolio of renewable energy projects to realise our vision of powering a cleaner world. But due to the rapid rate with which Pacific Hydro had been growing, it was realised that we needed to start investing in robust IT systems to support staff and work processes. In 2009, our GIS moved from desktop to server, and we implemented the document management system SharePoint. However, moving to these systems still had their disadvantages. For example, even though we had now moved our GIS to an SDE database, only GIS personnel could access this data, and we were constantly being asked to produce large quantities of maps and plans. Often departments weren't aware of when datasets had been modified or updated, and the information provided to the GIS personnel from other departments was on an irregular basis. This posed a significant risk that as we continued developing projects, consultants performing work on our behalf could be using obsolete data, resulting in inefficiencies and extra costs. It was clear that we needed a system that provided data transparency across the company. Similarly, within SharePoint, it was not possible for staff to spatially search for documents either by location or particular asset. In fact, we were really limited by generic metadata assigned to those documents. There was also no way of viewing spatial relationships between documents or being able to analyse spatial relationships with information that was already being stored in SharePoint. We realised that we needed to be a little bit smarter in the way we stored our information so that we could enhance the value of having SharePoint. We therefore set out some key objectives to develop a system that would address these limitations. Firstly, we wanted staff to be able to view current spatial data. We also wanted to be able to search for documents stored in SharePoint spatially by location or asset using some kind of web mapping interface. And finally, we wanted to be able to spatially enable data sitting within SharePoint for analysis. However, we couldn't achieve these objectives without clearly identifying some of our constraints. The first one being that Pacific Hydro is not a GIS company. In fact, our GIS team is quite small, and therefore we couldn't afford to create additional work for the team so that they could keep up with their day-to-day activities. Also, a majority of our staff do not have any knowledge or experience with GIS, so we had to have a system that was user-friendly or it would ultimately not be used. With our constraints and objectives in mind, the solution design was to use a software product called Visual Fusion to link SharePoint and GIS. Visual Fusion consists of an interactive web mapping interface that sits within SharePoint. It has a direct link to our SDE databases and allows users to view spatial data stored within our GIS. It also has a direct link to document libraries within SharePoint and can display documents by location. But perhaps one of the biggest advantages is the user-friendly interface to allow staff with no GIS experience to navigate and search for information related to our projects. So coming back to our original objectives, our solution design allows staff to view the location of our assets by panning and zooming within the mapping interface. When selecting a particular GIS feature, staff can also view additional information about that feature that is stored within the SDE database. But one of the biggest advantages of this solution, and unlike most other internet mapping solutions, is that the link to spatial data is dynamic. Therefore, any update to spatial data in the SDE database is immediately reflected in the mapping interface. This means that GIS staff can modify data within the SDE database as per usual without the need to update or serve up any map changes. The solution design also allows staff to select individual assets and features and view a list of SharePoint documents that are linked to those features. Documents are assigned a location code as part of their metadata when uploaded into a document library. Once this location code is assigned, this link is again dynamic and documents can be viewed immediately within the mapping interface. The list of documents can be sorted and filtered within the interface, exported to a spreadsheet, or opened directly from this window. Now, apart from the obvious advantages of improving efficiency, workflows and decision making, this system has some real key benefits. By providing staff access to spatial data, we have added value to that data and in turn seen improvements in the quality control of our data. Document search functionality has been improved and individual departments are better informed as we develop our project portfolio. And finally, we have created a solution that is easy to use and delivers results to ensure that our investment is money well spent. Our third objective was to spatially enable existing data we had stored within SharePoint for analysis. Health and safety incident data stored in SharePoint has been linked directly to the Visual Fusion. The interface allows staff to analyse incidents by location and categorise them by various incident metadata, such as incident type and risk rating. Staff can also temporarily analyse the data by viewing incidents for a particular time period, month or day of the week. This has allowed us to derive additional information from our data by being able to analyse the data spatially and temporally, and ultimately improve decision making to ensure a healthy and safe environment for our employees. We see all this as just the beginning, and we will be continually improving our existing systems and creating new systems as the company grows. Development projects will be included in the system to ensure that departments remain informed as project design changes through the development process. Health and safety is one of our key values at Pacific Hydro, and we will be investigating the use of reporting tools to streamline this process and enhance analysis of stored information. Sustainability is another key company value, and each year we report on our progress. This year we will be looking at incorporating these reporting tools within the Visual Fusion software. Well, that is all I wanted to say to you about our solution. But so you get a quick idea of what it is I've been speaking to you about, I would like to show you a quick demonstration.